What's going on, guys? Fat boy Derek trying to be on the right side of thick here. And I want to talk about this video, this clip of Ethen Klein from his H3 podcast that I just recently discovered. No, I think this clip is like I think it's a couple of weeks old. But since I've been kind of getting a lot more into fitness again, finally kind of just really getting back into it and diving deep. And so I've been watching a lot more fitness related content on YouTube like I used to. And this has been circulating around. Now, I haven't seen everything. Like, I've just seen thumbnails and stuff. So I saw the first thumbnail I saw was from this dude, Greg Doucette. A lot of people says he sounds like Iago.
Before you watch this freaking video, like it! Like the button right now!
I mean, I kind of hear it though. But yeah, so I wanted to react to this clip because I only heard one thing, but so in this, what I have right here is like a minute long. So I'm actually curious to see everything that Ethen has to say about this, because it's just by seeing the thumbnail and the title, you already know it's kind of silly, man. It's kind of silly, and I want to get into it. I want to see if it's just a bit or if he's 100% serious about it, because Ethen's been looking not the most healthiest lately. I know when he was, throwing shade at Joe Rogan, a lot of people were pointing out that, why are you saying anything about this guy when Joe Rogan's like mid-50s or whatever, and he's, looking pretty great. And Ethen's been looking, his health has been on a decline. I have my theories of why, but let's dive into this clip.
Life's too short to exercise. I'm just gonna be honest. There are so many better things to do than exercise. We have finite time on this earth, and like, this is what I'm saying.
Well, that's interesting already in its own, just by saying we have finite time on this earth, so that's why we shouldn't waste time exercising. That's the funniest thing first, because the finite time, which is technically true, relative to time itself, but if you want to extend the time that you have on Earth, you want to exercise. You just want to put in a little bit of work. You want to put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. I'm not gonna do the gay version. I'm trying to get that out of my head. That's not even true. I just posted a picture the other day. That's not even true.
The exercise is such a conspiracy. They go, let's say you spend.
Oh my God! Look at Hila's face right there. That is worth not 1,000 words. That is worth 1 billion. That is worth 1 billion. Like, I absolutely love her face right here, because it just says it all. It said everything. Exercise is a conspiracy, and she's like, get out of here.
Spend an hour on a treadmill every day.
Money, Ethen.
It's not a conspiracy.
Let me explain.
All right, first of all, he says an hour on the treadmill every day. You don't have to spend an hour on the treadmill every day to get enough exercise to extend your life. An hour a day is great, but it's not the basic standard of what you should do for exercise. It's really, when it comes down to it, the most minimum is like the bare minimum. Walk a couple of blocks. That's like bare minimum. And walking a couple of blocks to get there and back to home. What, 15 minutes? That's bare minimum. You don't have to spend an hour on the treadmill. That's for people that want to stay in, like, sustain a very good level. But as far as just actually getting your heart rate, and exercising, just getting everything worked out, feeling better, strengthening your muscles, walking does all of that stuff.
Explain why it's a conspiracy. You spend an hour on a treadmill every day.
Yeah.
Somebody get out a calculator. Okay, let's say you live to be 85.
Okay.
Let's see where this is gonna go.
85 years old.
And you're exercising every day since 15 years old.
So,
Okay.
70 years of exercise.
70 years. So 70 times 365 and an hour every day.
All right, what's going on here? He's turned into Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
How many hours?
25,500.
Divided by 24.
1,064 days.
Divided by 365.
It's 14
What are we
pages.
doing?
It's just a little under 3 years. Under
3 fucking years of your life walking a treadmill.
Yeah, but
On page 14.
here's the thing. Will that exercise extend your life more than 3 years?
No!
Yes, obviously. Obviously it will.
Oh!
If
Look
there-
at- What's wrong with this dude? Look at him. Look at
Here's
him.
the thing. Will that
Look
exercise
at him.
extend your life more than 3 years?
No!
If there,
Why is he so angry?
hey,
But that's pretty much the clip. So after looking at it, I'm pretty sure that isn't a bit. You can see the anger in his face. Like, he really loathes exercise, and he probably, and what's really going on is people are telling him all the time to do it, to do something, especially Hila. And I guess it wouldn't even be a problem if Hila was like a slob too and she didn't care. But when your significant other is constantly bothered by how you guys have seen what they look like before. Let's dig up something of how Ethen used to look maybe just like 2-3 years ago. So here's Ethen from 4 years ago. He's noticeably thin. He's very thin. Now, I think let's be fair, even as a thin man, he's always had the turkey neck. So you can't really judge him on that, because I think a lot of people they see his turkey neck now where he weighs, I don't know how much more he weighs, probably like 30-40 pounds more. Could be more, I have no idea. Obviously I have no idea. But he's always had the turkey neck, even when he was skinny. Just some people just have that, right? So you see he's noticeably thin. This is 4 years ago on the podcast back in the day. You know, looks good. I feel Hila just wants him to look like that. Hila looks more or less the same. Just gained a little bit because she's been having kids, but I mean, virtually unnoticeable. She's just one of those people that she can't gain weight if she even tried, I imagine. She would have to be like one of those active bodybuilders, just scarfing and like plunge, like has to shove the food down their throat to get it down. You know, because there's a lot of thin people that are like, I can't gain weight for the life of me. I'm like, well, you're not trying to bulk like a bodybuilder that they don't want to eat anymore. They were fine with the first meal of the day they had, and they could probably go the rest of the day until maybe at night to where they would finally feel hungry again. But it's not about that. It's about consuming more. They need more calories put into them. They need to, you know, build more muscle. It's going to obviously put on more fat, but they're going to cut it in the summer or whenever they're going to do their cut. But it's just one of those things where they, since they're not performing, since they're not doing it for a specific reason, they don't feel like torturing themselves with food in that way. And to a certain extent, I understand why a lot of people don't like to exercise, because they feel like, you know, a lot of strenuous activity is like torture, which I understand. Like I said, I understand, but at the same time, I disagree, because anytime I exercise, I always feel better. The soreness, sure, a lot of people hate the soreness. I love it because I know it's progress. When I'm really sore, I know that, you know, within a few days, I'm going to be stronger. That's just how it works, man. That's just how it works. You're gonna increase, you know, you're shredding and then you're rebuilding. That's just how it works. It's pretty simple. Now, if I had to theorize why Ethen is so against exercising and saying there's so much better things to do, that mentality, that negative mentality, usually comes from a place of just being unhappy. And this is something that I feel like a lot of people in the just the fitness industry, they always leave that one part out, because they always talk about, you know, the trifecta. You need to obviously work out, you need to eat clean, and you need plenty of sleep. Those are like the foundations of just getting in shape and being healthy, right? But they always forget that one extra thing, because it's not really a triangle, because there is being in a good mood and being happy that is so essential to maintaining that triangle that they always preach about. Because if you think about the best time, you know, the best shape you ever been in, when were you in the best shape of your life? Think about what you were doing. Think about your job. Think about your relationship. Think about whatever's going on. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, everything was going very well. Things were good. Right? And then when you think about when you're at your shittiest shape, obviously the complete opposite. Lowest point. There's issues going on. There's all this stuff happening. And I feel like for Ethen, there is stuff happening behind the scenes that we don't know the full extent of. I know that he has mental health issues, and I don't know what he takes for it. But I know, as far as I'm concerned, I think I remember him saying that contributes to weight gain, which I think is true, but it could also affect a lot of other things. The last thing that I kind of want to touch on is my mental state and my health. Everything that was going on in 2020, everything just crashed. Everything declined. My testosterone just plummeted. I don't know exactly what happened. I think it was a combination of things. I think it was I've talked about this before, living in a really terrible house with with a rat infestation, all this stuff that just really destroyed my health, unlike anything I've ever experienced before. And it was also, the pandemic was happening, so I was also bummed out about that whole the country was getting more divided. George Floyd thing happened. There was so much happening that just bummed me out. So it was just wave after wave of just BS, and I gained way more weight than I've ever gained before. I was the sloppiest I've ever been. It was just not a good time for me, and something that helped me out was I tried for about a year and I've talked about this before in another video, I tried to seek out an endocrinologist and help me out. They wouldn't, because I technically was on the cutoff of what is acceptable as a level of testosterone, of free testosterone, which I know that wasn't for me because of how I felt. And so luckily I went to a clinic, and then they fixed everything. It made me feel like a normal person again. I felt like a normal man again, and I'm not taking some crazy levels where I'm off the charts, where it's my total testosterone was 2,000, or, it's not, I'm not doing anything like that. And what I'm trying to get at is, I think Ethen would benefit from getting on TRT. I think it would change his whole mood. I think it would change everything for him. I think literally everything would completely change. And one thing I know is that he doesn't understand TRT, because I heard him talk about it on a podcast with Hassan. They had that podcast, Leftovers, and Hassan was talking about wanting to get on TRT. And Ethen was just kind of trashing it because he doesn't understand it. He probably thinks that TRT is the same as taking Trenbolone or D-ball or something that's just a much higher level of a anabolic steroid than just say a replacement therapy, a hormone replacement therapy, and that there's levels to it. You don't have to take what a bodybuilder takes, where they're getting juiced out of their mind for competitions or for whatever, for the accolades. You can just take it to maintain a healthy lifestyle and feel good. And I think that's something that he desperately needs to look into. A lot of men and women could benefit from too, because that's something that it's like a thing that people don't talk about, man. They don't talk about that. Is that the women's hormone balance, and they need to have their levels of testosterone and everything needs to be balanced well too, especially women that go through menopause and stuff. It's I feel like it's one of those things that and why I'm talking about it so much is that this is what affects people's moods and happiness. And when they're feeling good, they will do better things. They will exercise. They will kill it. It's right now, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. I am pretty stressed out. However, my head's still above water, and I'm in the mood to work out and exercise. When I'm slammed at my absolute hardest, it is so hard to get up and exercise. That is just it. And if you're constantly feeling like trash, which I can just assume Ethen is, just constantly shoveling food in his mouth on the podcast and everything, doesn't look good. Because it's one of those things when you look good, you feel good. You know what I mean? When people are feeling like trash, they usually look like trash. Now there's people that try to mask it and stuff like that, but they don't do a good job. You can usually tell something's off. Oh, they have the bigger bags on their eyes. You can just tell just physically something's going on. So I'm just saying that because I don't need to say anything about the actual exercise itself. It's all there. People know how to exercise. People know how to walk. People know how to run. People know how to do push-ups. People know how to do sit-ups. People know how to do squats. Just bend down and go up. There's things called Hindu squats. Look them up. There's calisthenics. There's very simple stuff. It's all about getting there, feeling good enough to actually do it. You get your stuff situated in the background, and then you can kind of get yourself to a point where I can really do it. Because there's that cycle of, yeah, I'm sad because I'm fat, but I'm that cycle of you keep eating because you're sad. So it's almost like an Ouroboros kind of a thing. But I think that's what it comes down to. So I think if Ethen was in a better place mentally, he would never say something like exercise being a waste of time. There's so much better things to do, and you're just like, it's a conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody that is feeling good about themselves would ever say anything like that. So that's pretty much my assessment. But let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I hope if any of you can take anything from this. But yeah, have a good one. And I am actually about to go to the gym right now.